At the Lexington Theater Company, we have a twofold mission. The first is to create first-rate, professional, locally produced theater for Central Kentucky. The second part of our mission is to serve as a training ground and a performance platform for up-and-coming talent. And really, I think that part of the mission was born out of our experiences as young artists in theaters very similar to ours, theaters that we are modeling the Lex after. And in the summers there, it was a great place to sort of put into practical use everything that we were learning at university. It was a really neat way for us to make connections and train. And then when we moved to New York, we had this incredible A, resume, and B, connections to people in the industry. So it made moving to the city not so scary. And after we had our time in New York, we were there for about 8 years, working on Broadway ourselves and moved back here to Kentucky. And a big part of what we, Jeremy and I, want to do is to pay it forward, to be able to open doors and give opportunities to the next generation of young artists. So it's incredibly rewarding for us to be able to bring these young people from universities right here in Central Kentucky to all the way across the country, here to Lexington every summer, to have the same kinds of opportunities, and then at the same time be able to offer dynamic, exciting, first-rate professional theater for Lexington and for Central Kentucky.
There's several factors that kind of go into us deciding a show. Obviously, we're doing one show. We want to choose titles that are going to excite the community. We want people to come and see the work that we're doing. Another thing that factors in is that we are not set up right now to build sets and costumes. So we rent those things from other theaters that have built them for the shows that they've done. So therefore, we're looking for things that we can find a set that is going to work in our space, because the Opera House is a space that also has some space issues as far as when we rent a set. The costumes that are going to work for the people that we have, the number of people we want to be in the cast. But basically it's that we want to do a wonderful production that Central Kentuckians are going to come in and enjoy and want to experience, so that we can grow the company and keep people excited about what we're doing.
Once it's showtime, everybody rolls into town. The collegiate ensemble gets here first, and we do 4 days of what we call boot camp, which is rehearsals that are mostly focused on learning music and sort of getting a leg up on the choreography. We start at 10 o'clock in the morning and we go all the way to 6 o'clock. They take a little lunch break. We give them breaks along the way, but it's a pretty full 8-hour day. So we do 4 days of that, and then we get a couple of days off, or 1 day off, and then our equity actors join us. And they start with us on a Monday morning at 10 o'clock, and by a Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we are running through the entire show for the design team. Of course, simultaneously at this time, we have costume fittings going on. Everything has to get fit and altered, and wig fittings, and our sound designer is fitting them into their microphones. So there's all kinds of other little things happening. Production team is having meetings. About midway through the staging week, while we're in the studio,
Then we go to the theater. So we start with load-in. They start hanging lights, the set arrives, and everything starts going into place. So at the same time that we are doing all those rehearsals to make the actors ready for their show, the technicians and the designers are in the theater prepping that space so that they can do the best job that they can do to present the best show that they can. So they essentially start on a Tuesday or Wednesday, getting things ready, getting lights set, so that we can then move to the theater on Sunday.
When we move into the theater with the cast, we get one night to space the show on stage, and then the next day we start what we call technical rehearsals or tech rehearsals, which means we're adding in all of those technical elements. So their first time in their costumes, their first time in their wigs, they're wearing their makeup, they've got their mics on, we've added all of the set pieces and props, we have the lighting as well, so it's sort of
It all
comes together in one moment, and we tech the show over the course of 2 12-hour days. So we do that on a Monday and a Tuesday. We do a few fixes on Wednesday. We have an invited dress rehearsal on Wednesday night, and then a few more hours to fix the last few things, and then it's opening night. And we run, right now we're running for 5 performances, and it's just exhilarating. It's one of those, every day goes by so fast.
So fast.
You feel a little bit like you're racing with the clock to get it all complete, but there's a really fun energy about that.
Everybody, when Winifred does spit, spot, spick, and on the spick and span, can you guys snap to attention?
Even though it's hard days and it's rigorous schedules and it's a lot of expectations and it can feel like a lot of pressure, but at the same time, if we're not having fun doing it, we might as well not be doing it. And that to me is what's so much fun, is watching the pictures and the video montages that the company members are putting together. We finished Mary Poppins and they did not want to leave. We had a little closing night party, and I think they went off to an ice cream shop afterwards, and we're doing the choreography in the parking lot because they didn't want it to be over yet. And we feel the same way, and that's a huge part of what we're about too, is that you can be excellent while at the same time being a great, positive, fun place to work where everybody is in it for the right reasons. And that is huge for us. Everything that we do, we're striving for excellence. We want our productions to be stellar. We want the experience that people have when they come to see our shows or when they come to work with us to be exceptional. But we also want to be lasting. And so we make decisions very carefully and very methodically to ensure that we are going to be here for a long time, and being an important part of the fabric of our community for many years to come.